All right, what's up, everybody? That was um, that was interesting, to say the least. Let me make sure I got everything up here. Let's see what you guys think about this thing. We got about 100 watching. Make sure to click that like button. Um, just wanted to make sure I had everything ready to go before we shut off live. So I'm seeing a lot of people with a lot of opinions here. Um, Wow. I just that was something. By the way, poll is up on my channel right now. What you like? Thank you, J Rod. Um, yeah, lick that like button. We got 35 likes to 126 watching, so let's up that. But man, that was insanity. That was crazy. There were a lot of people who just a lot of people had bad luck. A lot of people had good luck. A lot of people just went completely berserker and wanted to turn their car into a tank at the end there. I get it, Isaac. Don't tell me Byron did not have bad luck in this race. He totally did, but so did a ton of other people. He just had worse luck. But kind of going in, let's let everybody kind of file in here. Over 150 at the moment. Actually, if I remember correctly, last year I was streaming after this race at the track. Couldn't make it out this year, but still pretty awesome to be there in person. I guess I could say. I mean, I'm not gonna say I hated this race, but it was definitely the entertainment push way more than it was the straight up racing push. I think you'd be a fool to argue differently. There was strategy that was thrown out the window late, but is what it is. Let's go into the finishing order of this race. By the way, thank you Groovy Goose for the 199. Idea NASCAR should use the access roads as a Joker lap. So Steve Woodhart had said, I want to bring up the access road. Steve Woodhart had said that the access road was legal, so I don't know why Chastain would be penalized if that was the case. Maybe it's just the NBC crew doesn't know exactly the rules on that. But I will when I read through what the results unofficially are. I will have Chastain at the tail end of the lead lap. That way, that's probably what NASCAR is going to do with them. But imagine if Chastain had taken out Reddick at the end there, and like Cindric had gotten wrapped up in it, and it turned out that like Harrison Burton won. That would have been nuts. Daniel, thank you for the $2. NASCAR should never race at Indy Oval or Road. I will get everybody's thoughts on that in a moment, but to start off with, let's look at the finishing order. Uh, the finishing order of this race was Tyler Reddick winning. He led 38 laps en route to his win. Cindric ends up second. Harrison Burton third. Fourth, Todd Gilliland led 4 laps in this race. Bubba Wallace with a top 5 at a road course. And he was up front a lot during the day. I got a lot of crap on Twitter when I had said that like what he'd done is pretty impressive for most of the day. But he ran in the top 10. He had top 10 speed. He had a good strategy going for the most part of the day that just wasn't going to pan out without that last set of cautions. But he managed to get his way back up into the 5th position. So good run on Bubba's part. Continues a pretty good stretch of races for him, too. Joey Logano, after his dumbass bonsai move, I'm sorry, I don't care if you're a Logano fan or what you think of aggressive racing. It was a dumbass move. Basically, he had no shot of making that corner. But he finishes 6th. AJ Allmendinger, after leading 3 laps, finishes 7th. And thank God he got at least somewhat of a good finish because that man, as Danny B was talking to me and Darian and Eric in the chat, that man looked miserable. Then you got Cole Custer with a 9th place finish. Good for Cole Custer. I know that we've shit on him a lot during the day, or not the day, the year. But good run on his part. Napa Racing Fan 927. I'll get to that in a moment. And then Chris Buescher wraps up the top 10 and 10th. After that, 11th is Kyle Busch. 12th, Christopher Bell, after leading 17 laps, got himself back up into the 12th spot. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 13th. Denny Hamlin 14th in his 600 start. Eric Jones 15th. 16th, Chase Elliott. Got a bit of a recovery there, but nowhere near the top 2 that he was probably going to, not probably, he would have gotten. Ty Gibbs, another impressive run in 17th. Corey LaJoy, 18th. And rounding out the top half of the field in 19th is Justin Haley. Now, looking at the bottom half of the field right now, we got in 20th, Brad Keselowski. Martin Truex Jr., 21st. Josh Bilicki, 22nd. After leading 5 laps, Chase Briscoe finished 14th. Cody Ware, not 14th. He's number 14. He finished 23rd. Dumbass attack on my part there. Cody Ware in 24th. And then I believe BJ McLeod in 25th. 26th, Ryan Blaney after leading 17 laps. And then we're assuming that Ross Chastain will finish 27th, tail end of the lead lap. That's one thing about these road courses. The amount that finish on the lead lap is very high. Now, 3 drivers finished a lap down. 28th, Daniel Suarez. 29th, Austin Dillon, Joey Hand. 30th, he led 2 laps today, though. Still good showing for a Rick Ware car. William Byron, after some bad luck, finishes 31st, -7. And then the rest of these cars finished out of the race for crashes, mechanical issues, whatnot. 32nd, Alex Bowman. 33rd, Kevin Harvick. Ty Dillon, 34th. Kyle Larson, 35th. Kvyat finishes 36th. Loris Hesmans finishes 37th, and Eric Almirola finishes last on the day. Now, Napa Racing Fan 927, you left a $2 super chat. I love IMS, but NASCAR should fully move to our IRP. IRP doesn't have the infrastructure at the time. I personally would like that. By the way, hit that like button. We got 66 likes, over 260 watching, so tons of good stuff there. I believe Bubba skipping turn 1 and 2. He had not advanced his position, and I believe a lot of you in the chat were saying that's why Chastain had gotten the penalty, whereas Bubba did not. NASCAR needs, it's a tale as old as time though. Josh Williams is in the 25 car. Okay, 25th place car. I mean, but it's a tale as old as time. NASCAR and just uneven officiating. But kind of looking through what happened during this race. In stage 1, just everyone was spinning out. I personally am not a fan of races where it's just constant crashing, spinning. But a lot of people were. And a lot of people got my ass about that, and I don't care. I don't think that entertainment only and spin fest, like Nova Stone 12 said, and we'll get to that super chat in a moment. I don't think that that's good racing. Crashing should not constitute whether a race is good or not. There's bound to be these crazy races, but this is 2 straight years of the Indy road course turning into a shit show towards the end of the race. We'll get into that in a bit. Nova Stone 12, thank you for the 2, says, too much spin fest at the end, should go back to the oval. I will leave that in a poll in a moment. I would like to see what everyone thinks about that. TV ratings-wise, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. It looks like we're getting the road course another year next year, according to Roger Penske, but they're leaving the opportunity open for 2024 to get the oval, so that might be pretty interesting. By the way, while we have over 300 in here, NASCAR Weekly Podcast is this Wednesday night on my channel, this channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see if we can get all y'all in that. That's going to be pretty fun. Eric Estep, Danny B. Talks, and Black Flags Matter all be in that. But it's going to be interesting to see the way that a lot of people go. I know a lot of people in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, around Indianapolis Motor Speedway, want the Brickyard 400 back. I know there's a push and pull, but I'm going to be interested if the numbers for the TV ratings are down. I'd be interested to see if they change it up and go back to the oval, because it's been proven to be a viewership hit. But going back, stage 1, Chastain was a lap down early. Chris Buescher's car caught fire, and he still recovered to a 10th place finish. That's just an excellent run for that team, and a much needed run, as there's been a lot of inconsistency this year. But looking at stage 1, let's look at some of the playoff points and points distribution we got here. Chase Briscoe won that, so he gets 10 points plus a playoff point. Ryan Blaney in second. Third was William Byron, so you Byron fans don't stress too much. He did get some good points there. Joey Logano, 4th. Chase Elliott, top 5. Then Todd Gilliland in 6th. We'll talk about Gilliland and Front Row in a moment, as I see Crash the Hedgehog 91 has talked about. Then Kyle Larson in 7th. Kyle Busch in 8th. Harrison Burton, 9th. And MTJ, 10th. Looking at the second stage, Christopher Bell won that one. Second was Kyle Busch. Bubba Wallace was third. Toyotas in general looked pretty quick today. I'll get to those super chats in a moment, by the way. Chase Elliott fourth. Ty Dillon fifth before his unfortunate destruction. Denny Hamlin, or I'd say fifth or sixth. He's fifth. Denny Hamlin sixth. Chase Briscoe seventh. Cole Custer eighth. Eric Jones ninth. And Cody Ware got a stage point today. Crash Hedgehog 91 says, happy to see front row have a good day. Especially after the penalty. Me too. McDowell, let's see. McDowell finished eighth, and Todd Gilliland fourth. So that's gonna be the first. That might be the first time. And someone fact check me on this one. That might be the first time since Talladega 2013 both the front row cars finished inside the top 10 together. And then where's that other one at? Oh, there's two more. Sorry, screen's updating on me. Marky Mark, thank you for the two. Reddick should stay at RCR. I mean, he's fast at the road courses, but in general, I don't know how that translates to overall performance. I know he's been pretty fast, but he's been inconsistent. So I don't know just yet. I think right now it would be a downward move. We'll see what it looks like by 2024, though. And Amongster, Chicagoland replaces Indy, problem solved. I mean, I would like that, but in general, I know a lot of people in the industry wouldn't like that. I'm getting like updates on DMs about a bunch of stuff here, so let me make sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. Yeah, Bubba advanced his position. I don't know why Bubba's not getting a penalty. Maybe that'll be updated in post race. I mean, we saw last week. We thought Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch were gonna win, and or were gonna finish first and second based on the finish, and they got DQ'd. I wouldn't be surprised if Bubba did. If not, that's gonna be pretty interesting in not a good way. I mean, if you thought that some of the social media posts about Bubba were ugly, then him advancing his position illegally the same way that Chase Briscoe did last year and not getting penalized would be that would just be a shitstorm waiting to happen. Mafire 924, thank you for the two. Says, is Reddick now better than Elliott at road courses? I'm not gonna go that far. It's been 2 races, yes. One race is just a one race thing. 2 races is could be a coincidence. 3, if he's better than him at Watkins Glen, we might have a new road course king in town. You do see these paradigm shifts at road courses a lot with new cars. You saw it with Jeff Gordon not being as good after the Gen 4 era for the most part. Like COT on, he was not as good at road courses. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at some, like Jeff Gluck just posted on NBC. On NBC's post-race show on Peacock, by the way, this is about the Reddick stuff. Parker Kligerman asked Childress about his relationship with Reddick, and Childress had said when Harvick left, they made a joint announcement and won 4 races together the next year. This one didn't happen that way. Man, Childress is so pissed. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be funny as hell if Tyler Reddick, after making this big of a announcement and splash with RCR and leaving RCR. It's going to be funny as hell if he's the first driver at RCR to bring them a championship, because let's be honest, the system promotes the insanity that would be Reddick winning a championship. It'd be funny as hell if he was the first one to bring them a championship after Dale Earnhardt. Like, it'd be Tyler Reddick and Dale Earnhardt would be the 2 champions of RCR. Marky Mark says it's okay. Chastain was taking his Joker lap. Oops. Dude, this race, it did what NASCAR would probably want it to do. I'm looking at the trending page right now, and NASCAR is number 2 on trending at the moment. Just behind another old actor that died, and everyone will freak out, even though they didn't care about that actor for the last 10 years, but whatever. But yeah, NASCAR right now is trending over the MLB. I'm looking through, it's trending over politics. Looking at some of the other trends right now, Ryan Blaney is trending 8th in America at the moment. Kyle Larson trending 10th after that wreck. I mean, they're above everyone in baseball for the most part. It's above the Jetsons. Turn 1 is number 16 on trending in America. William Byron is 24th. Bubba Wallace trending 28th. So NASCAR got what they wanted out of this race. They got the publicity that they would want from this race. A Fire 924, thank you for the 2. Why doesn't Richard sabotage Tyler? so it hurts him. Well, you want to promote that 8 car is a good ride, which it is a decent ride. I think Tyler Reddick is making it look like a great ride at the moment. Um, but say what you want about the road course and the oval. Uh, Ty, like they're getting what they want. They're getting the publicity they need, and I you know I don't blame NASCAR for wanting that. It's all gonna be about how many people watch us at the end of the day. So now with about 400 watching, I'm gonna give you just a straight up which Indy do you like better, or do you want? Which Indy do you want? Oval or road course? We have over 400 watching, 118 likes. Let's click that like button. Let's get those likes up there. I think we can hit 200 by the end of this poll. Do you like better? I apologize if it's taken a minute for me to get there. All right, slash want. All right, make sure I spell everything right. Asking you in 3, 2, 1. Poll is up. This is going to be really interesting to see. I see a lot of people saying rotate, and we can ask that in a different poll in a bit. I see Will England in the chat. Also, Wilkesboro is back tomorrow. Awesome stuff there if you're in the area, or I believe some of the stuff might be on like Flow TV. I'm not sure though, but any way that you can watch it, support that track. I thought it was left for dead, but it's pretty cool to see it come back. We're closing in on 450. We might be able to hit 500 after this one. I should tell you all right now, while the poll is going, it's pretty even. But while the poll is going, I'll let you know right now, I will not be in this studio for the post-race stream next week. I'll be back in the garage. So I'm going on vacation up north and with my family. I'll be able to do all the podcast stuff. Everything. Video schedule shouldn't change that much. Everything should be good to go. But I'll be in the garage next week and probably in the garage for the podcast too. So that should be pretty interesting. At the moment, we got 183 votes, and Oval is winning with 56%, Road Course 44. I'm not surprised. The way the NASCAR fandom is usually split, like half and half, is pretty normal. But I think after a race like this, it's not going to be that much of a surprise that the chaos will win a lot of people over. I understand it. I mean, it was to say that this race wasn't entertaining, in my opinion, is lying. Like, this race was entertaining. Was it good racing? I'll let you decide. I personally don't think so, but it was entertaining. If you are someone who casually watches NASCAR or isn't a fan of NASCAR, like, do you really think that this wasn't something fun to watch? I don't think so. I think it was a really fun race to watch for most people. Amongster, thank you for the 199. Should Daniel Hemrick get a second chance at the 8? I think that time is coming past. No, I think we're gonna find out this Tuesday that Austin Hill is getting it. I don't. Let's see. Napa Racing fan, you say in the chat, I don't hate road courses like a lot of other NASCAR fans, but the oval is better. This is entertaining, but a little too messy for my liking. I think that's the take of a lot of fans. Chuck, in the chat, open question: why do you think tracks like Sonoma and the Glen feels more calm over the chaos like the Roval and Indy? I think in a lot of respects, the full track with the Roval or Indy is not meant to be a road course, and there's just differences like that. There was some craziness at Sonoma. There's been craziness in years past at the Glen, but I think it's just more difference between a purpose-built road course and one that's a track that's been configured into a road course. Nolan Davis for 199. Demolition Derby is not racing. It is entertainment. It is. And that's my thing. It was a Demolition Derby. It was entertainment. It was entertaining to watch. But I don't think that constitutes great racing. We've seen this 2 years in a row. I think we're starting to see what we get with the Indy Road Course. I mean, it was fun watching it be something difficult for the drivers. I'm not going to say I don't like that. I want the drivers to be challenged. I want the drivers to not be having a cakewalk for the entirety of their race. Nova Stone 12 for another 2 says, my driver is good at road courses, but I hate watching them. I mean, I think that's a lot of Chase Elliott fans. Chase Elliott fans, I think we are not lying to ourselves, make up the majority of NASCAR fans. or at least the plurality and the majority of NASCAR fans, from what viewership shows, are not as big of fans of road courses. So that's probably what we got. Uh, Augustine says NASCAR can't grow the sport by leaving tradition behind. I agree to some extent. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think the Indy Road Course is a better racing product than the Oval. Um, I think even with it being a demolition derby, there is better racing at the road course a lot of the time. But I get what you're saying. I mean, viewership wise, it was proven last year. I mean, I have the numbers actually right here. So looking back at the numbers for the Indy Road Course last year, 2.8 million watched this race. It was the lowest watched NASCAR race for the Cup Series at Indianapolis ever, and it was on big NBC too. It wasn't on cable. You go back a year before that. Granted, the 4th of July, early COVID race, there's a lot of differences, but the Brickyard 400 got 4.34 million viewers, meaning that there was a difference of about 1.5 million viewers from the Brickyard to the road course. Going back another year, the Brickyard got 2.9, about 3 million viewers as the 26th race of the year, and people might be like, yeah, that's pretty even with the road course in 2021, with the exception, and again, they're both on NBC, all three of these on NBC, but the difference is that the Brickyard 400 in 2019 went head to head, I believe, with the NFL. Yeah, went head to head with the NFL on opening day of the NFL season, which traditionally brings viewership down. So, you can go back another year, but the Brickyard on that same weekend was rained out to a Monday. After that, you go pre, Dale Jr. retirement, and of course the numbers are going to be a bit different. Brickyard that year got about 5.6 million viewers. So I think what this year is going to show is what the future of Indianapolis in NASCAR is. I don't think NASCAR's leaving the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's too big of a tradition. It'd be too much of a black eye in the sport to leave, even with as bad as it might look with attendance. If people watch the Oval, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back. It might go back and forth. I'm going to end the poll right here. We got over 300 votes. The final tally with 304 votes at the moment after 5 minutes is 59% Oval, 41% road course. I'm going to end that. And I'm going to ask you another Indianapolis question having to do with that. But it's going to be much more open-ended. I'm going to say, what do you want with the future of Indianapolis racing for NASCAR? But I'm going to give you 4 options with this one. For the future of, let's see, racing for NASCAR. I apologize if there's a bit of a pause here. I'm just making sure that I get everything that I want with this one. So Indy Oval, Indy Road Course, IRP, or Oval Road Course Split. All right, there we go. Put it up right now. Let's see what you guys want. Napa Racing Fan 927. When will I release an NHRA video or my NHRA video? I have some ideas in mind, but I don't want to commit to anything too much right now. Rick Allen was straight up lying at the end. What about Daniel? I didn't catch it because I went immediately to start the stream up. So I want to make sure. Brian Griffin, Indy Road Course or IRP. I mean, what we're looking at right now is we're looking at a split for second, but Oval Road Course split is what you guys are really pushing towards at the moment. What I'm going to be interested to see is what the fan reception overall is for this race. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go back and look at the poll. So in 31 minutes, we got 2,000 views for votes for the poll for what they thought of this race, and the viewers are speaking their mind. It looks like almost an 80% positivity rate. 47% said this was a great race. 31% said it was a good race. So, I expected about that much. 4% said below average. 6% said bad. So it's about what we would all expect, I think. I mean, this is not... I don't think NASCAR fans are really too hard to expect. Um, let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna see what the chat thinks. I just gotta get this poll out of my way. Let's see. Groovy Goose says, I do prefer the idea of a split road course 1 year, oval the next, and so on. I mean, if that's what people want, maybe that's what NASCAR and Roger Penske, everybody should listen to about it. Um, do you think Dodge could come back? Yeah, maybe one day. He's spoiling the poll. The famous. Hey, there's at least another 10 to 15,000 votes coming in. Stuff can change. Yeah, that Larson crash was vicious. What it looked like is that, like, from what it sounded like, the brakes went out on that car. But poor Ty Dillon, man, that man got screwed. Zachary says, Jarrett, love the channel. Good fun race. Hope AJ is good. What happened with Ross? Ross cut around on the access road, and that's sort of how he got up there. He advanced his position. It's hard to really judge NASCAR officiating at this point, though. Yeah. I know Roger had committed to the road course for next year. I just don't know how it's going to be 24 on. And again, plans can change. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if next year the Chicago Street Course race doesn't happen with some of the stuff that's been coming out in the news about what local politics think and how unpopular Lori Lightfoot is, the fact she might not be in office. Like, there's stuff in general that can change and be very fluid with the schedule. So I'm not gonna commit too much to anything until we, get to about 5-6 months probably out. Probably once we get to 24 or 23 and nothing has changed, then I'll start saying, okay, that's probably what it's going to be. But I wouldn't be surprised. Chicagoland next year confirmed. No, I'm not saying that. But I will say, okay, I wanted to kind of take a rumor out right now that people are trying to pass around. If the Chicago Street Course doesn't happen next year, they're not going back to Daytona even for the road course. Daytona has basically said they don't want NASCAR on not the track, the town said they don't want NASCAR on the 4th of July weekend. They, I think, are having like a soccer tournament or like some motocross, some kind of tournament. I think it's a soccer tournament at Daytona International Speedway at that time. So I don't think that they're gonna change that up, especially with the city government not wanting that with the track committed. So Daytona is not coming back to the 4th of July if Chicago doesn't happen. I want that said right now. I want as many people as possible to spread that around because I'm getting sick of people saying it's coming back. It's not coming back. It's never probably coming back in the foreseeable future. I hope I'm wrong. Thank you, Gerardo, for the 2. It looks like the message was retracted, though. By the way, let's see if we can get at least 200 likes up here as we're over 400 pretty consistently. Thank you guys for the support. But I will say, I went to Joliet in July. Earlier this month, I should say. It's not August yet. I went to Joliet earlier this month, and Chicagoland Speedway is guarded like, Fort Knox, man. I mean, there's tons of security there. The track looks really well taken care of. It is not sold off. I want to say that right now. It is not sold off. I know people who know a bit more of it than I do. It is not sold off by any means. They have no intention of selling it off. I'm not saying it's coming back. I'm not even saying it's coming back after the Chicago Street contract ends. But what I am saying is that the grounds are being kept up, security's kept up on the track, old signs have been taken down that don't need to be. If it's an abandoned track, look at North Wilkesboro, had all the same signs as before. I would not be surprised if something happens with the street race, if Chicagoland is the next option, so they're able to stay on that market. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying it could. I would like Milwaukee Mile, like Dan Christian said in the chat. I think Milwaukee Mile deserves at least a truck and Xfinity date. I think the state of Wisconsin is owed a cup date pretty soon because they kind of got screwed with how much they came out in force. Now, TV ratings didn't help as Road America got less than 2 million viewers, whereas while looking at the schedule right now, no other scheduled race that didn't have a delay had that happen. But the fans came out in force, and I know they would for the Milwaukee Mile too. Wisconsin race fans deserve a Cup date, and I will stand on that. Looking at, let's see what Team Penske fan in the chat. I'm just seeing the ones that pop up to me. What a race! It was my first NASCAR race. I'm in the car going back home. What a race! Happy as a Cindric fan for the second or for second. I bought some diecast, took a picture with other cars. That was awesome. I to be an Indian person, I don't care what the product looks like on TV. Being an Indian person, I can attest to this from last year being there. It is a feeling like no other. You realize that you are walking on hallowed ground. Like this is there's different feelings for every track, but some tracks have that like heightened feeling of reverence that you know you're in a special place. Daytona has that, Martinsville has that, Bristol, Talladega, and Indianapolis has that, and I've been told Darlington has the same kind of feeling, um, even Charlotte. Um, I Indianapolis is a place that I would love to go back to as a fan. I don't know if I'll be able to make it back next year or not just yet. There's so much fluidity going on in the podcast. No, not the podcast. Sorry, I'm reading comments and trying to think at the same time. There's so much fluidity going on with the economy, the world, everything like that. It's hard to say now. But if I could, I would love to go back to Indianapolis. I want to go for the Indy 500 personally. Napa Racing Fan 927. This is an important question here. Can the NWP crew invite Ben Kennedy on the show? You already had Steve Phelps once. Yeah, open invitation. If Ben Kennedy wants to come on, I mean, me and Darian got to talk to him at Nashville, and he's a very open person when it comes to talking not only to media but to fans. Um, yeah, I'd be down. Will I be at Michigan next weekend? I will not. I'm going to be on a family trip. It's a bit of a tradition. I think, God, we've been doing this since 2005. So I don't want to ruin that to go to a race that I went to last year. And to be quite honest, doesn't have the same feeling that it used to when I went in like '06, '07, 2011, 12, definitely, and 13. Groovy Goose, how would you grade the race? I I gave it a 6. I mean, it wasn't bad. There was a lot of good strategy going. There was a lot of passing going on. I was happy from that perspective. Um, it wasn't a bad race. It wasn't something like a lot of people thought a Sonoma race was, even though I honestly kind of like Sonoma. Um, but yeah, let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Leave a number or a letter of what you think the best grade for it would be. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I got to write that down. I keep a tally throughout the year of like what I think of different races, and then and then like average it, so I can know what my thoughts were after the race and how I enjoyed the season as it went. And I enjoyed this one about as much as I did in 2021. I think this one has higher highs, but like you look at Martinsville, it had lower lows. But I see like a common thread is 7, is what people are saying in the chat. So I'd say people like this race a lot. And I'm going to close out the poll pretty quick here. It's been 10 minutes. We've had almost 400 votes. I said, what do you want for the future of Indy racing for NASCAR? And the winner was an oval road course split at 33%. The oval was very close at 31%. Then IRP 21%, 14% for the Indy road course. So the Indy road course, I think, if people had to choose, is not the top pick. Um, but pretty interesting seeing the layout of what everyone's thinking, both in the chat as well as with the poll there. I want to check Twitter really quick, see if any of these reporters have updated anything different at the moment, just so that we're up to date with anything that might be breaking. I don't know if I'll stay on through inspection, just because that's a long time, and to be quite honest, I don't think you want me babbling on here for 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, I see NASCAR is really promoting the rookies ran well, and Austin Cindric finished second, Todd Gilliland or Harrison Burton third, and fourth Todd Gilliland. So 2, 3, 4 for the rookies. If something happened with Reddick's car and Tech, we're looking at possibly a 1, 2, 3 for the rookies, which is not what I think a lot of people expected going into this race. Um, let's see. I just want to see if there's anything scoring by. Okay, so Jeff Gluck also updated everybody here. I'm going to read his tweet in a moment, but Jeff Gluck updated everybody on Chase Elliott's points lead. Scoring at the moment says Chase Elliott's points lead is now up to 125 over Blaney. You can only get 60 points in a race, 40 for winning, 10 for a stage. So unofficially, Elliott has more than a 2-race lead over the next closest guy with 4 races remaining in the regular season. And as well, you got to think that this means that Ryan Blaney now is in a must-win scenario, I think, especially if we get another winner, because Truex is not too far behind Blaney. That if I'm a Blaney fan and he doesn't win at Michigan, I'm worried because I don't want to rely on Daytona. Even as an Earnhardt fan, dude, I did not want to rely on Daytona being the way that Junior would get in just because you don't know what could happen. And I personally think Junior is the second or third best plate driver ever, behind for sure his dad and right there with Jeff Gordon, maybe ahead behind, I don't care. He's right there as one of the greatest ever. And I never wanted to rely on those tracks. Even in the playoffs, like Talladega came up, never worked out. Never worked out in 2014 and 15. So if you're a Blaney fan, you're nervous, I think. If you're not nervous, you have a lot of faith in your driver, and I applaud you. Daniel, thank you for the $2. Oval returns. Fans complain, want oval gone. I mean, that's just NASCAR fans in general. NASCAR just needs to go where the eyes are going. And if that's the oval, they go with that. I see people saying, yeah, Blaney could win the race at Richmond. That's what Fast Jacob is saying. But Richmond's one of his worst tracks. The fact that he did relatively well this past year is an anomaly more than something that's regular. Thomas, thank you for complimenting the UFO. I will spin it for that compliment. Joey did the same crap he did at Homestead in 2016. I mean, he dove low, but that one was definitely Edwards blocking into him. Noah says it is his worst racetrack. I thought that Darlington and Bristol were pretty close too. But yeah, I mean, it's not a good track for Blaney. And if Truex gets by him, and Truex is very good at Richmond, especially since he's joined JGR. I don't know, man. If I'm a Blaney fan, that's not boding well. I mean, yeah, he's not going to get beat off points by Kevin Harvick or anybody below Truex, but if you're the only guy there, and we've seen it. We've seen Corey LaJoie. Yes, he's not in the top 30. I know, but I'm using him as an example. But if somebody like a McDowell or a Todd Gilliland or Harrison Burton wins, and there's 16 winners, Kurt Busch, from what it sounds like, could come back any week now. If there's 16 winners and Blaney isn't one of them, he's not in, even if he's second in points. So, or third, or whatever he is. This is not a comfortable position whatsoever. And I don't have faith personally that Blaney's just going to rattle off 2 or 3 wins like he did last year. That was pretty cool that he did that, but I don't see him being, top of the line. Cade says not a fun time to be a Blaney or Truex fan, and Super NASCAR Rocks, who's a Truex fan, attests to it. It sucks. I like Blaney. I like Truex. I like most of the drivers in the field, to be honest with you. But when I'm looking at the next 4 tracks here, and I'm looking at Michigan, I'm looking at Richmond, I'm looking at Watkins Glen, I'm looking at Daytona. There's a lot of drivers that I look at as having a better chance of winning before Ryan Blaney does. I think Michigan's his best shot, but I think Eric Jones has a better shot at Michigan. I think that McDowell has a better shot at Watkins Glen. I think that Truex has a better shot at Richmond. I mean, hell, right now Bubba has speed. I mean, he has good speed. He could win. And Bubba. You can argue might be the best super speedway racer right now. Like, do you want to bet against him when it comes to Blaney at Daytona? Um, I don't personally. Looking at some of the others here, I'll just go down the guys finishing order. Uh, Busher, very quick at the road courses. I think Busher could win Watkins Glen. Uh, going down again through it, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., really good super speedway driver, real good at fast tracks too. And that team has gotten a bit quicker as the years went on. So, Stenhouse could win. I talked about Jones. Uh, Justin Haley, very quiet, very good at super speedways too. He could win. Brad Keselowski, great super speedway driver. Not the best at Daytona, but he has the ability. Like, why wouldn't he be someone you would bet on? Um, let's see, and then you got a lot of other guys too that have wins that could win too. Eric Almirola could pop off. Look what he did in New Hampshire last year. And then Kevin Harvick. I'm not going to write Kevin Harvick off. I think now that they're just going straight up for wins, what you know what do they have to lose? They can go for them. They have the speed to be top five. If you have the speed to be top five, you can win. Uh, so I don't know, man. I'm nervous if I'm a Truex fan, but I'm also really nervous if I'm a Blaney fan. If there's one more winner and it's not one of those two, like Truex can get past him. Let's see. Now, RCR with Reddick winning Tuesday announcement will be interesting. Yes, it will. Let's be real. Austin Hill is probably going to be in the 8 car. That's what I would think. I mean, Log Drive says I think we're gonna have a shock winner at Daytona, like Burton or Stenhouse. Very well may, very well may. Um, I think Chase will win Vegas. He might. Oh yeah, next week IndyCar has an Asheville Grand Wreck Fest. I wish I could be at that one, but again, it's not worth missing a family tradition over, especially for a racing series that I don't um, necessarily follow as hardcore. Um, but it sucks that I won't be able to see David. Like, I think David's gonna be in town, and It sucks I won't be able to see him, but family comes first. Next first time winner. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna try and put a guess on that one. Harrison Burton could have won today, and he's been awful this year. I will say, yeah, Rossi winning was really cool. So it's been nearly 50 races. What do you think about Joey Logano this year? The speed. I mean, yeah, he got a top 10 today, but the speed hasn't been there, especially in this. I won't say especially in any aspect. The speed hasn't been there as much for Logano, and I think that I don't think he's as much of a playoff threat as a lot of people think he is. I think round of 8 is definitely somewhere he can get, but he's not anymore in my championship 4 top guys. Just because, when I took a closer look, he's been off. He has been off. Daniel, is Larson a second or round of 8 exit? Um, Man, Talladega's in the round of 12, and he damn near got taken out of the playoffs with Talladega. So I don't know, man. Mark in the chat says Elliott, Reddick, Logano, Byron, his final 4. You were bold, my friend. I disagree on 3 of those 4. Elliott's the only one I think will make it. What's up with Kyle Busch? I mean, Kyle got taken out today. I think he would have had a much better finish had he not gotten spun. He probably would have easily got a top 10. Let's go back. I want to go and make sure that we are completely updated and everything going on. Like I said, updated on 125 point unofficially is the lead unofficially for Elliott. Let's see. Again, I just want to make sure that I'm not going off the air with stupidity. With like, oh yeah, goes off the air, and 15 minutes later we find out that someone didn't win. Here is the playoff cut line at the moment for people who are interested. Dustin Albino tweeted this out 5 minutes ago and says Blaney plus 121, which is good. He's over 2 races above the cut line. He is 25 over Truex, who's plus 96. That's the cut line we need to watch. Truex is plus 96, yes, but that's what we need to watch right now because this cut line between 16th and 17th doesn't really matter at the moment. I don't see them making up, Harvick would be the closest guy, and I don't see Harvick making up like 25 points per race on Truex. Even if Truex is off, I don't see that happening. So 25 points between Blaney and Truex, that's the cut line you guys need to watch because I think we'll have at least one more winner in the next 4 races. Michigan could race like a super speedway. That's big. Richmond could be a strategy race. We saw what that did for Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. Watkins Glen, it's a road course. We just saw that today, what happens with a road course. And then Daytona is Daytona. But for those interested of the rest of the top 20, Harvick minus 96, Almirola minus 156, Jones minus 175, Bubba Wallace minus 213. And to let you guys know now, if you're 240 points or more below the cut line, you are officially eliminated from making it on points. You are for sure in a must-win scenario. But I would say anyone below Truex is in a must-win. I'd say Truex and Blaney are almost in a must-win. If we see another winner, they are in a must-win. Which is why we saw Blaney go out there today and get those 9 playoff points in the first stage. Or not playoff points, but those 9 points in the first stage, finishing second stage 1. Let's see. Wow. Oh, so AJ Allmendinger had a full-on cool suit failure. And I believe as well Daniel Suarez had hot air blowing in where his air conditioning unit was supposed to be pushing in cold air. Nate Ryan is updated per NASCAR. AJ Allmendinger has been seen and released from the care center. He spoke briefly to reporters afterwards, so there's just more to come, but he is okay. Along with AJ Allmendinger, Chris Buescher and Joey Logano were evaluated and released from the care center as well. So good news there for fans of the 22, 17, and 16. Oh, cool. I didn't know my buddy Rusty Walrus was at the race today. That's cool. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, just a lot of updates from the care center. Again, I see stuff about Cole Custer being top 10. Chat, you talked about it too. I'm gonna give him praise where praise is due. Kept mostly clean most of the day. Yeah, they had that spin, but outside of like 2 cars, who didn't have a spin today? It's a good run. Oh yeah, I did see that Mamba finished top 10 in ARCA. He's a good dude. Really positive personality. I love Mamba. Bale of the Yard, thank you for the 5. Nope, directed by Jordan Peele. Now starring Ross in theaters now. Man. Yeah, by the way, like Groovy Goose says, we got 219 watching, 380 watch, or 219 likes, 380 watching. Lick that like button. Let's get to like 250 before we end this baby off tonight. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm very gun shy of leaving, just because you don't know what'll happen. I love this picture. I don't know if you guys can see it well or not, but I'm gonna turn the brightness a bit up on my phone and show you. But it's a picture of Ross Chastain going up. No, you can't see it. Oh, there you can. Ross Chastain going off track with the rest of the field going on the normal track. It's such a funny visual to see. So, let's see some other updates here. God, that crash, man, between Larson and Dillon was just. I'm gonna be very interested to see if they learn anything, data wise on that one. And another hard hit. Let's see. Yes, so I was correct. Ross Chastain will, at the moment, be placed 27th, last car on the lead lap, instead of second. Which means 2 years in a row, we have one of the top 2 guys being taken out of the running for, going off track. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about it, and I think the big argument against the road course right now is that it's just very much, it seems more like a joke to a lot of people. I'm very interested in again the ratings this week. That's going to tell a lot. Again, as we're at just under 400 watching, be sure to watch the NASCAR Weekly Podcast this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. So don't have to go very far. It's gonna be really fun. I want to see, I want to see all y'all out there. It's gonna be fun. NASCAR News 6. Thank you for the $5. By the way, Broncos fan, you've had a lot of happiness in your career as a football fan, but Lions fan, damn, it's been more painful to me as a Vikings fan. Glad my favorite driver, Eric Jones, got a contract extension and a top 15 finish. You might be even more glad next week. He's definitely someone to watch to win the race. Look how we did at Auto Club. Nice. Thank you, Spencer. Been to every NASCAR Weekly podcast stream this season. We'll keep doing so. Thank you. This will be episode, I believe, 198. I think it's, let me check the schedule right now, but I believe it's August 17th on Eric Estep's channel is episode 200. And I have been on all episodes. I intend to be on the next 3 so that I can make it to 200 and so on and so forth. Yes. August 17th is on Eric's channel. August 10th on Danny B Talk's channel. Should be really fun. Let's see. I'm waiting for those updates, but I don't see an update right now. All right. I'm going to finish off on one more poll. Thank you, NASCAR Racing Fan 927 for the 2. Will Alex Bowman stay with Hendrick after 23? I would assume so, personally. Am I going to be at Talladega? Says Average Minecrafter. More than likely. I'm like 95% sure I will be. And there might be a few YouTube friends from outside the NASCAR community coming to that one too. So be sure to watch. All right, I'm going to finish off on one more poll here. How many new winners do you think we'll get before the playoffs? And let's see, before the playoffs start, I should say. I want to make sure. All right, are we going to get 0? Are we going to get 1, 2, or 3? Actually, let's just do 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let's have some fun with it. I know. Okay, I'll do 0 to 1. How about that? I know I'm being a little all over the place, but I want to make sure this poll is done right. So how many new winners will we get before the playoffs start? 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, asking in 3, 2, 1. Everybody let me know as well with numbers down in the chat. And this will be how we end off the night as we're approaching 250 likes. Thank you guys again so much for the support. We were up as high as 440 watching earlier when everything was sort of flying around and disqualifications for like Chastain. So cool stuff there. I'm going to continue to look up and down Twitter, see if there's any updates. I don't see anything really. I'm gonna assume we're not gonna have 2 DQs in a row. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna end off on this poll. We're gonna go for, let's say we get up to about 200 votes, and then we'll end her off for the night. It's gonna be really interesting to see what kind of stories develop through the week. Hey, Brian, you might be kind of laughing a bit about Harvick taking Michigan, but it's a lot more similar when it comes to this package than to the races that he won at Michigan than to the 550 for the most part, especially well before 2019. So keep an eye on Harvick. Top 15 DQ, Chase Elliott wins again. I doubt it, but that would be funny as hell. He keeps his top 2 streak alive by any means necessary. You know what? I think we'll end off here. The poll is pretty well done. So again, thank you guys so much for coming after the race. We'll be doing this every week for the rest of the season, barring a few. But from there, it's just been really fun. So I'll see you guys next week, and until next time, have a good one.